issues that people care about are lining up our way. And let me just mention one more reason why I'm so optimistic about our chances. Because for the first time in a long time, Bob McDonnell and I are working together as a united team while the Democrats are still out there fighting with each other. Now, you all know it's usually the other way around. You know, they're usually working together as a united team and we're out there fighting with each other, but not this year. Now, here's the truth, and I appreciate those kind words that Christian said about my decision to not run for governor this year and instead run for re-election of the office of Lieutenant Governor. But here's the truth. We need all the advantages we can get to win in November. And if Bob McDonnell and I were out there fighting with each other for this nomination, we would have zero chance of winning in November. We understood that we needed to put that aside because we were stronger working together than either one of us were working separately or individually. My friends, let me close with what I started with. When we as Republicans work together, when we focus on the things that unite us and not the things that divide us, we cannot be stopped and we cannot be beaten. Because our ideas are better and our energy is better and our determination to take our country and our state and our communities in the right direction is simply better than the other side. Doesn't mean that we're good guys and they're bad guys. This isn't about good guys and bad guys. It just means we have better ideas. We have a better vision for the future. And when we focus on that, and when we row this boat together in the same direction at the same time, we can't be stopped. So my message to you this morning is simply this. It's okay to be disappointed about elections past. It's no time to be discouraged. We don't have time to be discouraged, and it's no time to be divided. We have no time for people who try to create divisions within our party for their own personal gain. The future of the state is more important than that. The future of the state is bigger than that. My friends, we need to focus on the things that unite us and not on the things that divide us, because Ronald Reagan told us the guy we agree with 90% of the time is still our friend. And we need to understand that as Republicans. So, when you leave this place this morning, I want you to leave here energized. I want you to leave here mobilized. I want you to leave here optimistic about the future of our party and our chances of winning this election. We are looking forward to seeing you in Richmond at the convention. I was pleased with how many hands went up. You know, last year we had about 3,000 people. This year we think we're going to have at least 2.5 to 3 times that many delegates. That speaks to the enthusiasm and the energy that's going to be there. And anybody between now and November who tries to create division within our party, I want you to simply look at them and say one thing: get out of my way, friend, because I don't have time for that. I'm on my way to winning, and we're going to do it in November. Thank you all for being here.
We have a few minutes for some questions if you'd like to take a couple.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Governor, I'm Greg Quinn. There's a little thing that really scares me, and you were on the Rob Schilling show and you explained it eloquently, and that was about taking bailout money for extended unemployment insurance. Cynthia Neff is playing on the state's emotions. She doesn't tell the whole story about the catches to the bailout money, and I think everybody in here needs to write a letter to the editor explaining the Democratic shortcomings on their platform with the bailout money and unemployment insurance, and you can explain it a little better, and the card check. And I'd like to see, they're using the press. I don't see us in the press countering that as much as we should.
Well, let me say a couple things. First of all, it's a whole lot more difficult for us to counter it in the press, because the press usually is more sympathetic to their position than they. I know that'll shock you, but they're usually more sympathetic to their position than they are our position. But look, I mean, here's the truth on the unemployment insurance thing. We would love to find a way to extend benefits for people who have been laid off in the midst of this recession, but we have to do it responsibly. In fact, and this has been totally lost in the course of this whole debate, In fact, the General Assembly has taken action, which was supported, by the way, on a bipartisan basis, that today if somebody gets laid off in Virginia, they'll receive unemployment benefits for more than a year. Now that was a bipartisan action taken by the General Assembly. So to suggest that we're not sensitive to the need of laid off workers is just ridiculous. Of course we are. The problem with this proposal that came floating down out of Washington is that it was the classic bait and switch campaign. You know, what Congress said was, we want you to extend these unemployment benefits on a permanent basis, but we're only going to pay for it for 2 years. So when the money runs out, then you got to pass the cost of that on to Virginia businesses. We're already estimating that the cost of unemployment insurance for Virginia businesses is going to go up by more than 100% in the next 2 years. So anything you add to that makes it go up even more. And what happens? You know, these businesses don't have an unlimited supply of money that they can just keep, paying out. They have to start scaling back. Well, scale back. They lay off workers. So it's a vicious cycle that you create. So what we've said to Washington was, if you want to extend unemployment benefits for laid off workers, we're all for it, but pay for it. You know, this is the classic bait and switch. It's a huge unfunded federal mandate. Every other portion of the stimulus package, we accepted the revenue because the strings didn't hurt Virginia or Virginia business. This would hurt Virginia and it would hurt Virginia business. So, we're all for extending the benefits, and we've said send us a bill that says extend the benefits until the money runs out, and then you can take them back to where they were. We'll pass that bill in a heartbeat. But that's not what Congress sent us. And our point on this issue is the right position. Our position is the right position, but it is the more difficult position to explain. So, we're trying to explain it. The unions have already put, millions of dollars into the Democratic Governors Association to run these ads attacking Bob McDonnell on this issue. Now, I will tell you, I think it's misspent money on their part, because the polling data that we have is that about 50% of the people agree with their position and about 50% agree with our position. And frankly, the more that we explain our position, the more people agree, because we explain to them that it's a bait and switch, it's an unfunded mandate. Most people, I understand that. We just got to keep trying to get that message.